Time now for the 11warriors.com web report. James and Beau. This is what's interesting to me. Well, there are lots of things that are interesting to me, including Ohio State playing at Madison Square Garden against Minnesota. That's interesting to me at noon. But let's start with this. Ohio State has exceeded all expectations for this season, true?
Absolutely.
They are 6-0 in Big Ten play. A week ago, they're coming off a win over Michigan State. They play Maryland at home on a Thursday, and there's an announced attendance of 12,000. Are we as Buckeye fans doing our part? Chris Holtmann is doing his part. And I know the comments will show it was freezing and the stadium's not on campus and there's no covered part. Look, we all know the problems with the shot. We've been there a lot. It's cavernous. It's all those things. That is not good to have that amount of people for that quality of game on a Thursday after beating Michigan State. And I'm wondering, is Holtmann grabbing the attention of the fan base? I think he is doing his part. Is the fan base doing its part?
I don't know that it is. And you look at what this team has been able to do. 6-0 in the Big Ten, like you mentioned. Probably the Big Ten player of the year in Keita Bates-Diop. They have everything you could possibly want in a basketball team. They have the star player. They have the fresh new face at head coach. And they have a team that's contending for a Big Ten title. And fans are, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the football hangover or what it is, but fans are not showing up. They were there for the Michigan State game. That game was loud. The environment was great. But for Maryland, it was very much like they were playing the Citadel again. And for a Big Ten game with a team that's now ranked, it was very interesting that it wasn't packed.
He is doing everything he is doing everything and then some. What is required of the job? Holtmann is. You mentioned Bates-Diop. This kid's going to win Big Ten Player of the Year, barring something completely unforeseen at this point. If he just continues on the same trajectory. Beyond that, though, they are playing a fun, exciting brand of They routinely get in the 90s. I mean, this is not ugly basketball. This is fun, joyful basketball to watch, and for whatever reason the fan base isn't consuming it in terms of going to the arena the way that I think is just. Now, this week, speaking of crazy situations, you're going to play Northwestern at Rosemont Horizon. For me, a kid of the 80s and the 90s primarily, that's DePaul's home, or was. Certainly isn't anymore, but was. That's a long way from their campus. And then you're playing Minnesota at Madison Square Garden. My guess is to remind New York City that the Big Ten tournament's coming there in a month. I'm guessing that's why you're doing it. This is an odd road trip for Ohio State, and that they're not getting a true road venue in either case.
And I think that bodes well for them.
I agree.
Think you're not going to play in these really loud venues that could rattle a team that's trying to make a move in the Big Ten. So I think it's really a blessing in disguise for Ohio State. Yeah, you're not going to be playing in these great college venues. Obviously, Welsh Ryan Arena, not a big venue, but a great college venue. You're not going to be playing there. But I think for a team that's trying to make this move and contend for a Big Ten title, I think it's a blessing in disguise. And while it might not be what college basketball fans want, it's definitely a good news for Ohio State.
Over-under on attendance for that game at Madison Square Garden at noon on Saturday.
Oh, man, I'll set the over-under at 5,000, but I'm going to take the under.
I just think it's a hell of a tough sell.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of Buckeye alumni in the area, a lot of Minnesota alumni, I'm sure, in the area. But the idea that at noon they're going to hustle to Madison Square Garden to take in a basket, it's nuts to me.
I agree.
This is what you get with Jim Delaney is you get to cash big checks and you get random trips to New Jersey and New York in January. So you got to take the good with the bad. Yep. He's James, I'm Beau. We'll see you next week on the 11warriors.com web report.